My name is Shai, and I'm a product manager for the Xops platform. And today we're going to cover a reminder for the change that is going to occur for XDR to Xops. What it means? What is Xops? What kind of great value our customers and partners can receive from this packaging and licensing change, and basically what it means as Cato's AI insights layer. So let's jump right in. If I had to define Xops simply, it's basically Cato's AI insights layer. It's a product, an analytics product that really helps customers manage with the really vast amount of events and raw logs and analytics that the network and their users are generating. All of the events and those logs are then being processed by the Xops engines to turn into actionable insights. And those insights are what the customer would end up working with in the Xops pages in the CMA. So another way to think about this Cato Xops is a convergence between two terms that are widely accepted in the market. The first being XDR, more focusing on the security side of insights, and the second being AIOps, so the more operational networking related insight system. Let's give a few examples just to make sure we're on the same page. So if we're talking about security insights, it could be a possible phishing attempt that was detected. It could be a sensitive data exfiltration attempt by a user, or it could even be data from third-party integration like CrowdStrike, who detected a suspicious executable file running on a host. If we're talking about operational insights, this could be things like an ISP causing an issue, so maybe multiple remote users are unable to connect to a specific ISP, or even predictive issues like potential overutilized socket CPUs or potential oversaturated links and things of that nature. So basically, Xops converges insights for both of those use cases, for the security and for the operational, based on the customer's entire Cato footprint. This includes the security events raw data, the operational events raw data, and any third-party integration the customer would integrate into CMA. So the pages of Xops are, of course, can be found within the customer, the Cato management application, and we also have dedicated selectors for each persona. So let's say you are a security person, you may want to use the SOC selector. If you're an operational, on the operational side of things, you may want to use the NOC one, or you could enjoy the merged view to get both types of stories and insights under the same screen. So why would customers need Cato Xops? Xops just brings a lot of an amazing efficiency boost. So again, we're talking about millions of data points of daily events that the customer has within their environment, depending, of course, on the size of the network. But usually this is super hard to look at all of those raw events and try to make sense of them. Which events are interesting? Which events are actionable? What do I need to look at out of those mountains of data? So trying to do that manually, it can be done, but it's really error-prone, it's unscalable, and it takes a lot of resources. While Cato Xops actually does it for the customer. It turns those millions of daily events into tens of actionable and manageable stories. In addition, the fact that Xops converges AIOps and XDR into a single platform really helps customer resolve issues more quickly and even provides a converged value when operational issues have a security relevance and vice versa. So a bandwidth issue can be a security story, and a bandwidth issue can be a QoS issue. So that's the kind of convergence and the value that customers get from having both AIOps and XDR under the same platform. So together with this change that we're making from XDR to Xops, we're making some changes in the CMA pages relevant for this capability. Up until now, you could find stories in the Stories Overview and in the Stories Workbench pages of CMA. Those pages will still exist and they will still contain stories. The difference is what happens if I don't have the license, if I don't get access to stories. In that case, those pages will have dedicated banners with a lot of information about this new license, a link to learn more, and an interactive demo that can be played by the customer for a play-by-play walkthrough of what it looks like to review story and what kind of value the customer can get from the stories. Let's show a quick example of that. There is a really cool tool called Storyline that we have integrated into the product. And basically, the customer needs to just click through and get an amazing demo of all the capabilities of the story, starting from the detection up until the remediation of it. Now, of course, the same thing can be done with the operational stories. And I'm just showing here a quick example of a leak is down type of story meant to show us that for a specific site in London, we're seeing a disconnected socket, and therefore the story is helping us get notified, of course, of this issue, monitor it until it's resolved. And we even have some playbook knowledge base articles saying what should the troubleshooting steps be when we see such operational story. Okay, so again, this is a reminder. This is probably something you've heard, but just to emphasize, as we have communicated previously, on all sticks, the existing detection and response stories that were part of XDR Core are transitioning to this XOps service, and they will be part of that service. This includes threat prevention, the network and operation stories, like the link down example that I just showed, and third-party data like EDR integrations. There are also some changes within the stories overview and stories workbench pages, just as I showed in the previous slide. And if there are customers who have some questions about this change, they're encouraged to reach out to their Cato representative to learn more about migration options and what they can do. One more thing I wanted to cover as part of this session is the managed services. While XOps is a great AI insights platform, some of Cato's managed services use that platform as well to provide their service. A notable example could be MDR and NOCAS. So, as we said, because of the change from XDR to XOps, stories will not be available without this XOps license. However, because of the exception of managed services using the same platform to provide the service to their customers, customers with those managed services enabled will get limited access to relevant stories. As a rule, if I had to put it kind of rationally and logically, each managed service license only allows access to the stories covered by that service. And let's just give an example to make it a little bit clearer. MDR is a managed service focusing on security. Therefore, their customers will get access to security stories. NOCAS is the same thing for operational stories, so their customers would get access to operational stories. Okay, so that's what it means. One more thing to say is that this table, along with any documentation relevant for the XDR and XOps change, is available on the knowledge base publicly for customers and partners to observe. So if you want to learn more, if you want to get into the details, it's all documented and widely available.